Apparently, this Bollywood has been really bothered about some of the things I've been saying lately. Originally, it started with, and it's this Dangle 10 Entertainment. They claim that the videos I'm making are entire movies, and it's a stupid movie from India. And I know the phone number, name, and address of the studio, and all of their information. I even know the emails of the top brass of the company. But it started off with a copyright takedown strike of a video I did with I think it was on Shoot the Flat Earth with Roger Ludwell pretending to have his little final debate. And I beat that one. And I guess they put out another, it wasn't a copyright strike this time, it was a copyright claim, which normally I don't worry too much about those because it doesn't affect the channel except for monetization. But with this one, they were removing the video. So, and I've tried to fight those before by pushing the easy way where the first selection is you just click on some buttons and say, you know, you didn't do anything wrong. And that one almost always bounces back. It takes like 30 days and almost always bounces back. Well, there's nothing at all that is their content that I have on my channel. So I push the next button over that elevates it to a 7-day, where they have basically 7 days to either prove that I'm posting their movie or stop trying to take my video. Anyway, so since I won that, I'm going to play, of course, my Come Take It, bitch. By the way, hello, Nightwolf.
I woke up to silence. My voice erased, no warning, no proof, just a digital disgrace, no shadow torn, just a phantom claim from a coward scorn. Come take it, bitch! This ain't theft, it's a penguin rift, raw and unfiltered, no banded breath, just truth in motion. Can you pass the test? Come take it, bitch! I check the footage, frame by frame. I cannot find their claim to fame, but they dropped a strike like it's gospel law. No evidence threatening a corporate claw. Come take it, bitch! You wanna silence me? You better come correct. Check your P's and Q's, show me checks. Don't hide behind DMCA lies. Stick the strike where the sun don't shine. Take it, bitch! You weaponize law, now the war is mine. I won't bow down, I won't toe the line. So stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch! Fair use ain't a loophole. It's the deal. I critique, I transform, I rebuild. You don't know my thoughts, you don't know my fire. You just want silence, well I am defiant. Come take it, bitch! YouTube, are you watching? Are you blind? You punish the speaker, not the crime. You let false claims run unchecked while creators bleed from the neck. I'm not some thief in the night, I'm Penguin, don't gaslight. I dissect, I expose, I ignite. But you treat dissent like it's your disease. You hand out strikes like guilty pleas. Come take it, bitch! This ain't just me, it's all of us, the ones who speak, who dare discuss. We build with words, not stolen fame, but you let liars twist the game. I swear under oath, I've done no wrong. My work is clean, my case is strong. If they want a trial, I'll draw the line. Stick the strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch! You think I'll fold, you think I'll fade. I've got receipts, I've got penguin blades. I'll cut through lies with every rhyme. Stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch! I'll see creators fall, one by one, because someone lied and the system spun. But I won't vanish, I won't resign. I'll scream that chorus every time. Come take it, bitch! You want control, keep the beat, your takedown's hollow, obsolete. I'll raise my voice and redefine. Stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, war. If you're watching this, know the score. I'm not backing down, I'm asking for more. Truth, fairness, a system that's mine. Stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it. You weaponize law, now the war is mine. I won't bow down, I won't toe the line. So stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch.
Never back down.
So take your claim, your empty threat. I've got no fear, I've got no regret. I'll fight with rhythm, rhyme and time. Stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch. Come take it, bitch. So stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch.
Hello, my name is Zerzu Cyclin, and welcome to my channel. Well, as I was saying, they've tried to strike me now 3 different times. They gave me one content claim, which I initially just went ahead and deleted, and then they gave me another content claim, and I fought that one. I think after this, they're going to be a little bit done messing with the penguin, I hope. Anywho, so I was reading this book from this, what's his name? Nigel Max Edge is the name that he gave himself. He renamed himself, and apparently on the last one he was talking about this, what was it, Yellowbird project, and I mentioned it to a Marine buddy of mine, and of course Tom, and they both got kind of a giggle out of the entire concept of what he was saying, pretty much saying he was full of, even though I do know he was a combat vet, it was probably, and even my Marine buddy suggested it was probably more of one of those situations if he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, which somebody else on my channel mentioned. It was kind of strange. Almost said the exact same things. So what I'm planning to do today is, well, see if I can read some of his nonsense ramblings. It was very hard to read the last time, but I think I made the pages, I changed the layout so that the pages are, I think, easier to read. I didn't really like it how it was split up the last time. That, and I think he kind of, it was really hard to read. It was more like a manifesto, which is exactly what this is. It's going to go into after 9/11, and we're going to go through, I think, until we'll go a little past 25, and then we'll jump forward to 40. I hope that's not reversed for you guys. Chapter 2, Ethics. And by the way, this is a headshot, Betrayal of a Nation. It's a book he wrote, I guess. When school was out, I worked at Vanderbilt Lumberyard with my dad, constantly learning real-world lessons. Even though I hated school, learning was always something that I liked. Had I stuck around, I would have been a 6th generation in my family to own Vanderbilt. It was originally a general store, then evolved into a hardware lumberyard. While I was in Iraq, my father closed down the Vanderbilt and sold the land. Strategically, it made sense to file bankruptcy. But considering my family's mentality, apparently broken, my dad decided to absorb the financial blow instead of succumbing to the stereotypical failures that bankruptcy was considered to be. Now, if you ask me, that's probably a first conservative idea well, not the first, but so far, just first of today's conservative ideas, because typically, the Democrats, they or liberals, they kind of frame, um, both consider bankruptcy kind of a failure, but they figure the Democrats typically frame it in a way that says that it's a systematic failure of health care and I forget where I was going with that, but they don't frame it as a problem that is a weakness within you. However, conservatives do. They frame it as a failure to, you know, pay your debts, to be your part in society. And there's even a 2008 law which they passed, which made it harder to file for Chapter 7, I think it is. And that's kind of, this is where this sentence, I believe, is leading there. Anyway, genuine hard work was a major part of the family value, not the, oops, I need to click page. Not the handout, or not the handout deals. I need to change this to handouts and deals of the modern world. That's another kind of Republican idea, that everybody's just looking for handouts. I know that I would have successfully run his business. I was a bit rougher around the edges than most. Kids thought of me as a lumberjack from Vanderbilt Lumber. We had chickens. I definitely wasn't a city kid. I think that my parents liked that I occupied myself with a BB gun or pellet gun. I was in charge of bringing the chicken scraps of vegetables every day, getting the eggs, etc. Dad filled their water and their food, but I always did what I could. Needless to say, we had rats living in and around the chicken coop. I used to sit outside in the evening and hunt them. They did, on occasions, aggravate the chickens and prevent them from laying eggs, making an excuse for that. In the winter months, now, see, here's my issue there. And farmers do kind of have problems with rats around chickens, but most of them control them with simple traps and poison. Now, I guess as a kid, shooting the rats, that's not such a bad idea. But it's later what he says that kind of bothers me. In the winter months, my parents' bedroom window provided a perfect lookout point to hunt for those critters. My mother would be reading. My mother would be reading in her bed, laughing as I plugged away laughing as I plugged away as they zipped from den to den outside, highlighted by the snow. I didn't take long for me to become a good shot. It amused me. See, now that's something else that I've noticed with these people that harm humans. They often start with harming animals. This is one of those said situations. I thought I was still on the page. Protecting my chickens was the best way to learn accuracy and patience. As funny as it may sound, this is when I learned many of my sniper skills, which would serve me well. Since then, I've hunted both small and large game. Hunting grouse in the Catskill Mountains was an easy way to suffer from a heart attack if you were at health risk. I think he missed health, but I put it in there for him. I'd never seen another bird with the capabilities as a ruffled grouse. The drumming of the ruffled grouse alone sounds like someone's starting up a Harley Davidson's in the wood. You hunted them with a shotgun. My father used my father used to walk side by side, about 20 yards apart, with a .410 shotgun in hand. We would walk through the woods, prepared for the explosion of ruffled grouse out of the bushes, nearly 5 feet away. By the time you realized what was happening, it was almost too late. The instinct of the grouse was to wait and use their camouflage. And if you got close enough to their tactic was to scare the shit out of you to escape. It took a lot of skill to hit one. Hearing shotguns in the distance on opening day of deer season, I was too young at the time to hunt big game. So I tagged along with my 410 single barrel shotgun in case a squirrel or a partridge presented itself. The times that my father and I spent hunting together were our closest times. He could tell after hearing gunshots from a distance whether or not the deer had been killed. I couldn't understand at the time, so I finally asked him how he knew. His logic was undeniable when you thought about it, though. If you hear one shot, most likely the prey was killed. If you hear multiple shots, the hunter missed and missed the target and followed up with more rounds to try to hit the prey that was on the move, which typically failed. The theory proved true and more. Most firefights, if engaged correctly, last mere seconds. When rushed, firefights quickly turned into chaos and wasted opportunities. My father and I used to hunt woodchucks. The farmers on the backside of the mountain hated woodchucks because their cows would break their legs in the dens they dug. One day, after shooting a woodchuck over 400 yards away, I was walking up to what I thought was a kill. My father was watching this through his rifle scope. I approached my kill, and the woodchuck turned and chased me, growling. I must have jumped back 30 feet. In shock as my father busted out laughing as the woodchuck continued chasing me. I'll never forget the sound of his laughter from 400 yards away. I've been chased by a lot of things in my life, but that was one of the more humorous times. I finally convinced my father to go wild boar hunting with me and a couple of his friends. At that point, our friend Eddie wasn't doing very well as a World War II veteran and a smoker. It could have been his last hunt, and a Ruger 1040, similar to the common 1022 but with 44 Magnum caliber, suitable for killing boar. My father took a 50 caliber flintlock. This black powder rifle was a replica, and most of them weighed 20 pounds. I had already shot a boar that day, and Dad was ready for this. To make things a challenge, he was looking for a large red boar. I left my rifle back at the camp because it was Dad's turn, and thought I wouldn't need it. What page am I on? 22. My father laid down his shooting sticks. Why am I saying that backwards? Anyway, my father laid his shooting sticks down with a cannon or muzzler on top of, since it was a legit black powder flintlock, the powder was poured down the barrel, with which a patch and a ball inside. Ready to go, the flint sparked, igniting the powder on the tray, then igniting the powder in the rifle barrel, firing an old ball supposedly into the monster boar. Eddie was filming, and I was standing behind my father. After about 3 dry fires, the powder pan, it was failing to go off. Sorry. He just assumed that wasn't going to night again, so he held it steady. Then out of nowhere, boom! The boar turned directly towards us. Most animals run a short distance before they die, but the boar just kept coming at us while Eddie was holding the camera. The footage bounced up and down as he ran. I was trying to climb down the closest tree while my dad was pushing me up. He intended to club the trophy boar with the back of his rifle until, at the last minute, the boar veered off. I didn't need my rifle, I said humorously. Where was I? Okay. I was climbing down a tree. It was a hunt to remember. If that wasn't good training for war, then I didn't know what was. I wasn't an academic genius growing up, and I knew that I didn't try to ace every test and max out my SAT score, but I still did well in both academically and physically, always trying to learn every aspect of life as best as humanly possible. I become compulsively competitive, both in school and in the real world. Academics were above average. Physical fitness was above average, and my work ethics impacted everything that I touched. That being said, I didn't love school. I hated it. I wasn't gifted, but I worked damn hard, despite the lack of love for it. If I received a C, I felt bang of awkward guilt. I don't know what that is. Pang. Anyway, even though I was not feeling pressure by anyone else to get an A, I thought this was instrumental drive that would suit well in my life. Yeah, that's kind of what narcissists do. Anyway, let's move forward to where were we going? So that was a little setup that I was wanting to show this. I mean, that's one of the things where it starts with animals. I guess we're going to go 40 through 70. I believe this is where he starts to get into some of the, hello, Nakoti, LGBT assassin squads and stuff. And I hope this book works the same as... Yeah, there we go. Before I do that, though, real quick, I am going to dive off. I need to grab coffee, and I think I'm going to grab a real quick smoke. Let me pull up a music for a second. I don't know what I'm going to play. It's not letting me play it anyway. Open video. There we go. I don't need too long, so we'll play this one.
Sunshine bidding shy retreat. Raindrops fall in a gentle streak. Nature's rhythm in each heartbeat. whispers secrets to the trees. Leaves dance to an ancient song. Storms arise with wild decrees. In this world where time moves on. Tick-tock goes the clock, weathered days forever flow. Lost in nature's endless talk, time slips by where shadows grow. Morning dew on blades of green, sunrise wakes the sleepy lands. Afternoon breaks the golden sheen, stars blink in their distant strands. Clouds above in shapes that blend, stories written across the sky. Thunder claps and tempests send, moments fleeting as they fly. Tick-tock goes the clock, weathered days forever flow. Lost in nature's endless talk, time slips by where shadows grow. It simply slips away again. Tick-tock goes the clock, weathered days forever flow. Lost in nature's endless talk, time slips by where shadows grow. It simply slips away again.
Yeah, I think that was a good little song for a break. Okay, Chapter 3, Boot Camp, Parris Island Platoon, 1109, South Carolina. There was no escaping boot camp or whining about it. Whoops. Wait, how did I mess this up? Okay, that was great. Brilliant. Anyway, there was no escaping boot camp or whining about it per se. You could try your hardest to do the right thing and still get in trouble. I realized it was the best way to have a good time whenever I could. I'm a little bit dyslexic there. I read that a little bit backwards. I got to stop doing that. Anyway, a friend of mine was told to hold a block of ice over his head and keep it from melting. This was an average request. Some recruits tried to outwit the drill instructors behind their backs. These instances did provide comic relief for the rest of the platoon. I learned pretty fast how to set my emotions aside. I would say 90% of the time we kept ourselves in a position of attention. This meant standing straight with our arms at our sides and our legs together with feet at a 45-degree angle. Most importantly, you had to keep your eyes looking straight ahead. It was interesting maintaining this posture while the instructor was screaming in your face and throwing your gear across the floor. When I left boot for boot camp, I was a solid 180 pounds and could turn a 6-minute mile, and can run a 6-minute mile. During boot camp, I realized that a different kind of physical fitness, lifestyle, and mentality were required. I lost weight, ran faster. I was able to do 30 pull-ups, endure sit-ups for minutes longer than was required. Boot camp equipped me with, or it kind of, sorry, boot camp whipped me into fast shape, even when I already was in shape. Everything was, everything was by the numbers, counting off the most basic steps for doing everything. It took time to get used to. Frustration set in when I realized that, like with my school experience, I wasn't allowed to hit the new heights. I was forced to be like everyone else. The anger that arose from this was used for fighting. I never fully considered the drill. I never fully considered the drill field before entering the military. In fact, I wasn't entirely sure what I was getting myself into in the grander scheme of things. The drill field was designed for discipline, following orders, and cooperating as a team. That wasn't hard to adjust to, but it was new for me. Everywhere we went in boot camp, we marched. My senior drill instructor won the drill field competition by the cycle before I went through. So he was determined to win again with a new group. Well, we didn't win. We didn't even come close. It wasn't our fault. The drill instructor knocked off his cover or hat with a with his sword and messed up some orders. Our platoon was punished. The rifle range was a different story. Here, I was really in my element because I'd been shooting since I was a young boy. On the range, we shot with our M16 rifles out to 500 yards. We would shoot from various yard lines within that scope, from 100, 200, 300, and 500. In the prone position, from under 300 yards, we trained with moving targets. Standing, sitting, and prone, an expert rifle score came quickly to me, but that was to be expected. In the last few weeks, there was a culmination of everything. There was a culmination of everything we worked hard for while training. The drill hats knew that I had a good chance of becoming the company Iron Man. My drill hat told me that I would not get more than 20 pull-ups, and during that final physical fitness test, I did 38. Everyone watching, it felt damn good, except for the fact that the counter didn't acknowledge more than 20. Every time I did an extra pull-up, he repeated the number 20. Pretty fucked up, but typical boot camp. Later, my drill instructor came up to me and said, "You did 38 pull-ups?" It was the first time that he had spoke to me like a human, or like a man. I managed to max out my sit-ups and made an impressive show running 3 miles. I'll never forget how windy it was that day. As we ran, gusts of wind blew off the track. After finishing boot camp with Paris Island Platoon 1109, I was company honor graduate, which sounded impressive but didn't mean much for a Marine career. I went home with an extended holiday on recruiter's assistance. What this meant was that I had a few extra days off as long as I helped a local recruiter. This guy ended up being a piece of work. He wasn't about to let anyone enjoy their holiday. I got into anti-tank. Oh, assaultman. Sorry, I had to look at that word a couple times because the letters were jumping around. Anyway, I got into anti-tank assaultman school, which wasn't very hard. The fact that I was infantry and part of a much larger force took some getting used to. Most infantrymen, especially in the Marines, were given the hardest time because they were considered not the smartest people in the world. Because we were part of a larger force, we sacrificed our worth and therefore, had lower status. I knew that infantry was misunderstood. Infantrymen were aware of this and acted accordingly, getting the job done and focus on safety. I could see the kind of courage that conditioned courage that infantrymen had. It separated us from the average person. We did act against our own intelligence for the greater good. It was pure sacrifice and trust. Considering my character, I was an infantryman through and through. We were trained with basic explosive, improvised Bangalore, I don't know what that is, torpedoes, improvised Bangalore torpedoes, claymore mines, platter charges, and shape charges, things that would later be used against us in Iraq. The interior lit a block of C4 explosives in front of us and explained how a combination of heat and pressure was necessary to set off explosives. We were trained to use the SMAW, a shoulder-mounted assault weapon. That was easier to say. We also used a javelin, a shoulder-fired anti-tank missile. The javelin sight was a thermal imagery device that would be used in many sniper teams. It picked up heat imagery very well. One of the challenges of anti-tank school was tank identification, which was just a task in memorization. For whatever reason, it came easily to me, and I did well on the test. To 70, huh? Yeah, I've been busy the last few days. That's why I wasn't really able to get on and continue this. So where was I? There was a range where we were taught how to use everything. I had a claymore mine all set up and took the instructor's commands. He counted down and gave me the signal to blow it, so I did. However, at the last minute, he changed his mind. As he was getting ready to thrash on me for listening to his instruction, the gunny that was in charge of the range was listening and realized exactly what was happening. He knew that the sergeant gave me the okay, discovered his error, and was set to punish me for it. Once I finished anti-tank, we were finally assigned to our units. I joined the 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines, located at Camp Lejeune, wonderful, North Carolina, Badwater. This was right next door to Camp, where MOS military occupational skills were taught. My new group was quickly deployed. About 8 of us, fresh out of training, were set up with everything we needed by the 3rd 8th Marine or by the 3/8th Marine who stayed in the country after the battalion left us. Yeah, colds are no good. About the time of the year for colds. This is where I met Gunny Sergeant Ball. He was a senior Marine that I fully respected as a good leader. Sadly, I never served under him. But since he was I need to learn how to say that, 3/8, 3/8, a 3rd Regiment 8 Battalion. That's what I bet you it is. I saw him around a lot until his death in Iraq. He gave me a speech that I'll never forget about young Marines being treated like shit upon entry into military. The word he said, he truly meant. He saw us all as his responsibility, a father to men in the Marine Corps. Gunny Sergeant B recognized what we were that we were grown men trained for war, and he was there for our guidance when we needed him. The military world was still fresh to me, and I wanted to make sure that I was doing all I could. Gunny Sergeant B understood this like no one else. One of the few greatest and true losses to the American military. It was no coincidence. Weird way to end that chapter. After finishing boot camp and anti-tank, the last place I was expected to be deployed was to a tropical island in the middle of the Caribbean. I always joked in high school that I missed out on my senior spring break trip to the Bahamas. Well, I made it. Although it sounded like paradise, which the untouched landscape was, the majority of the country was a display of our modern way of life. Trash, crime, and drugs infected the pristine landscape. However, I had an awakening in Haiti that, where was I? That few sheltered Americans understood. My platoon was called CAAT Platoon, or Combined Anti-Armor Team. Why is it the letters are harder to say than the actual darn thing it means? Anyway, it was fairly obvious that Haiti didn't have heavy armored weapons, but that made no difference because we were not there to fight. We were there for humanitarian purposes. Although we did hold security for some raids, there were only a handful of times escalation of force turned into engaging, especially when with the heavy weapons on our side. We were primarily a security escort and present patrol entry or entity. We stayed in open warehouses lined with coats, tray rates. I don't know what those are. Or tray rations. Okay, I get that. Tray rats. Anyway, was the food that was served in sealed trays. The crew heated these and served everyone in line. The food wasn't great, but with the help of Texas Pete, he washed it down, or we washed it down. They did have a PX, our base store, where Marines could buy traditional food and snacks. About a week before we left Haiti, our battalion commander served up steak and 1 beer for each soldier. This was the only time I drank overseas in all my deployments. It was a good thing. Oops. The scout sniper platoon was staging right next door to us. 1 bay over, I saw a Marine clinging to an M40 sniper rifle, and it caught my attention. This is when the seed was planted for my interest in sniping. I was doing a lot of research about scout snipers because I didn't know anything about them. It seemed like a better job than being run around with busy work by senior NCOs, non-commissioned officers. I remember this one time having retrieved grid squares from Humvees, or for Humvees. I probably looked for 3 hours asking other Marines if they knew where they were before realizing that a grid square was a unit of measurement on a map. I had to laugh at myself on this occasion because I just accomplished my own hazing. This situation was typical for new guys. We would park Humvees under a huge mango tree at the cigarette factory where we stayed. It was a large compound with a concrete wall surrounding it. As a private first class and Lance Corporal in Haiti. Did that read that way? As a private first class and Lance Corporal in Haiti, and new to the fleet. Okay. And new to the fleet Marine Force, I was not told a lot. One of my first missions in Haiti was walking around with all the new Marines, wearing night vision goggles and picking up trash around the base. I wasn't surprised we were told to pick up trash, but common sense dictated that it would have been much more beneficial to pick it up without goggles and during the day. This was hazing at its finest. The commanders did it just because they had the power to do it. My first platoon was nerve-wracking, even though it wasn't a war zone. It was a large responsibility to be a 249 saw gunner. But being up in the turret was much more enjoyable than being down inside the Humvee. Haiti was a humanitarian mission. To clean up the streets, we were there to barricade and redirect traffic, allowing the combat engineers to do their job. The country was a mess after their political riots. It was something that I never saw on the news back home. Many of the locals were friendly, and kids would swarm our patrols screaming chocolate. One man asked me for my phone number back in the States so he could stay in touch. Many folks ask why we were there. Shouldn't we be in Iraq? I asked myself the same question. Occasionally, we did dismount the Humvee to hold security and get a view of their way of life. Primarily, we went on presence patrols so that the Haitian people knew we were in their country. We could get farther than any foot patrol could. The Haitians didn't even know that we were there except for by word of mouth. They saw us for the finest, or they saw... How is this breaking up? They saw us for the first time when we drove by. We helped the combat engineers by holding security as they cleaned up the roads within the cities. Occasionally, when VIP arrived at the airport, we would escort them throughout the country to wherever necessary, mainly the embassy. One time, we went up with a convoy of SUVs. I could see where they were wearing suits and carrying Uzi, typically not what military carries. Fairly regularly, we had to be careful of low-lying power lines as they almost decapitated some of the gunners. Haitian infrastructure was not like the United States. Before heading out on patrol, we mounted up in Partisan. I indulged my in preparation. I indulged my habit of grabbing mangoes within the turret. Occasionally, we'd pass a coconut tree, and I'd do the same. Those were good memories, but there were a lot of bad ones. A friend of mine was almost cut in half by a mounted 50 caliber machine gun when it fired negligently into the front seat of his Humvee. What happened was a Marine was attempting to unload the gun and didn't know there was a round left inside. My friend was sitting in the front bumper of the Humvee, and when it went off, he received a small piece of the bullet fragment in his back and hell of a scar. He may have he may have crapped his pants, but who can blame him? For some time after he lost his hearing. Since it was not enemy fire, my friend didn't receive the Purple Heart. He was all right, but the event gave everyone a wake-up call. Extra precaution was taken after that to unload all weaponry properly. The main challenge was that we had new Marines handling these weapons, and the lack of engagement prevented the consistent use of them. If they were used more often, it would have been flagged before the weapon went off and went off negligently. Luckily, no one was killed. It did reveal how powerful the 50 caliber round is. The accidental round penetrated the roof, through the seat, and then through the neck piece of the bulletproof vest, exiting through the groin protector and then through the floorboard of the Humvee. Yeah, a badass weapon. As a platoon, we explored the countryside and sighted in our weapons at a rocky mountainside. We set up the vehicle in a line and performed live fire ranges from stationary and mobile positions. Although I only fired my 249 SAW, other vehicles had 240 Golf and M250 caliber machine guns mounted on top. Not only could I see the 50 caliber rounds vapor trails, but they knocked boulders off the face of the mountain upon impact. It was impressive firepower. The terrain was open with brush vegetation about waist deep, which the Humvees could traverse easily. The valley ran down to the base of the Rocky Mountain Range. I saw venomous scorpion and snakes on this range, as well as iguana, geckos, and some big rats roaming the streets, cities, and even the cigarette factory where we stayed. Coming back from Haiti, even with the deployment under my belt, it was still I was still young to the corpse and considered a boot. My hair was growing back from my initiation into my first deployment. Everyone was forced to shave their heads, even though this wasn't considered official. Upon returning from Haiti, my father had planned a caribou hunt with my uncle and cousin. My spot in the hunt was all paid up. All I needed to do was pack up and go. I was looking forward to this because it was going to be much needed vacation from the Marine Corps. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend the father-son trip in Canada that I was so looking forward to because there was a training for my next deployment. The following few weeks, I expected to start some intense training to enter a war zone. So I made the sacrifice. I was ready to step it up. I wanted to push everything to the limit. I wanted to kill the enemy, but getting fucked by the senior NCO was not what I thought. Was not what I thought training for war was all about. Here's where it starts getting a little interesting. Gonna grab me some more coffee. So Tom's telling me I need to get a pretty better topic, and I kind of agree with him. Really, I do. You guys want me to continue reading this? There's only 3 of us here. I don't know. Anyway, let's see if we can go skip forward to where he starts talking about these transgender sniper teams. Yeah, maybe Tom's right. Yeah, maybe I'll do the, what do you call it? The Boston murder mysteries instead. I will say hi to Tom. Yeah, I started thinking about it halfway through this. It is kind of boring, and it's not really, I don't know. The book is written kind of weird itself. As always, you guys are awesome. Remember, you don't have to be wise. Just don't submit to stupid. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
I woke up to silence. My voice erased, no warning, no proof, just a digital disgrace, no shadow torn, just a phantom claim from a coward scorn. Come take it, bitch! This ain't theft, it's a penguin rift, raw and unfiltered, no banded breath, just truth in motion. Can you pass the test? Come take it, bitch! I check the footage, frame by frame. I cannot find their claim to fame, but they dropped a strike like it's gospel law. No evidence threatening a corporate claw. I come correct. Check your P's and Q's, show me checks. Don't hide behind DMCA lies. Stick the strike where the sun don't shine. Take it, bitch. You weaponize law, now the war is mine. I won't bow down, I won't toe the line. So stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch. Fair use ain't a loophole. It's the deal. I critique, I transform, I rebuild. You don't know my thoughts, you don't know my fire. You just want silence, well I am defiant. Come take it, bitch. YouTube, are you watching? Are you blind? You punish the speaker, not the crime. You let false claims run unchecked while creators bleed from the neck. I'm not some thief in the night, I'm Penguin, don't gaslight. I dissect, I expose, I ignite. But you treat dissent like it's your disease. You hand out strikes like guilty pleas. Come take it, bitch. This ain't just me, it's all of us, the ones who speak, who dare discuss. We build with words, not stolen fame. But you let liars twist the game. I swear under oath, I've done no wrong. My work is clean, my case is strong. If they want a trial, I'll draw the line. Stick the strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch. You think I'll fold, you think I'll fade. I've got receipts, I've got penguin blades. I'll cut through lies with every rhyme. Stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch. I see creators fall, one by one, because someone lied and the system spun. But I won't vanish, I won't resign. I'll scream that chorus every time. Come take it, bitch. You want control, not justice served. You want silence, not truth preserved. But I've got rhythm, rage and spine. Stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch. Keep creating, I'll keep the beat. Your takedown's hollow, obsolete. I'll raise my voice and redefine. Stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, whoa. If you're watching this, know the score. I'm not backing down, I'm asking for more. Truth, fairness, a system that's mine. Stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it. You weaponize law, now the war is mine. I won't bow down, I won't toe the line. So stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch. So take your claim, your empty threat. I've got no fear, I've got no regret. I'll fight with rhythm, rhyme and time. Stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch. Come take it, bitch. So stick that strike where the sun don't shine. Come take it, bitch.